Hey everybody, welcome to my channel Sustainable Slow Living. And today you and I are going to take these really very gorgeous plums and we are going to turn them into plum butter. So I am going to peel each of these, pit each of these, cut them into chunks. My goal is to get 6 cups. I have a dozen plums here. So hopefully I'm going to get 6 cups. I'm going to put them in this Dutch oven and then I will come back to you to show you how to turn them into plum butter. So the plums are peeled, pitted, and chunked. And I'm going to put them on this burner, turn the burner on. I'm going to turn it on a little high just to get things going and then turn it down because we're going to simmer this. When you see how easy this is to make, you're going to be amazed. And my guess at how many plums it was going to take me to get 6 cups of plums was way off, way off. It took me 6 large black plums. They were hefty plums, but that gives you an idea of what you're going to be looking at to get 6 cups of plums for this recipe. Now, I'm going to put a cup of water in here. And I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. And I'm going to put a hefty 1/2 cup of sugar. Now you can do a 1/2 cup to 1 cup of sugar depending on how sweet you like this butter to be. I would think that you could also do honey or maple syrup or a sugar substitute of any kind. I am going to use sugar in this today. The thing that I like about butters, right, fruit butters, is that they don't have the kind of sugar content that jams and jellies have, right? Like a lot of times when you make a jam or a jelly, you're putting in kind of the same amount of sugar as you are fruit, or at least very close. And with this, we have 6 cups of fruit to 1/2 cup of sugar. That's a little bit more acceptable for me because you know that I'm not a sugar fan. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stir this up and I'm going to bring it to a pretty heavy simmer and then I'm going to turn it down to a low simmer and I'm just going to let it cook. Now stone fruit is in season right now. This is the time to take advantage of it. Plums and peaches and nectarines are some of the fruits that sometimes I let pass me by. I don't take advantage of them, and that's why I'm wanting to do this plum butter today, and I'm wanting to share it with you because they are amazing. And we should not let them pass us by. We should take advantage of them when they're in season. This recipe, I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea whether or not it's acidic enough to can. Like whether or not you could can it for long term. I am just going to put whatever I come up with here from this batch in these jars and enjoy it with my, well enjoy it myself and enjoy it with friends and family. I'll probably end up using those other 6 plums for some more plum butter as well. And that way I can pass it around a little bit more because this isn't going to make a very big batch, I'm sure. If you know a lot about canning or you can look into recipes for canning, you'll be able to compare ingredients and you'll know whether or not this recipe is suitable for long term. For me, this is not a big enough batch to even be bothered with that. I'm thinking that all of you know what a fruit butter is. I'm sure that you've had apple butter. You can make a fruit butter from just about anything. As I've mentioned, peaches, apricots, nectarines, plums, pumpkin, apple, pear. I mean, you can make it from just about any fruit. But what is the difference between fruit butter and jelly and jam? When you do jelly or jam, you use pectin to thicken your brew, right? Pectin is what gives it its texture. And when you do fruit butter, you just simmer away the juices from the, the fruit. You've got fruit, water, sugar, lemon juice in there, and you're going to simmer away the juices. You're going to let the juices evaporate from the pan until you have a thick and sticky butter. And once you have a thick and sticky butter in that pan, you're going to go ahead and you're going to use an immersion blender to make it nice and smooth. And that's going to give you fruit butter. How are you going to eat it? You're going to eat it pretty much the same way you eat jelly or jam. Put it on toast, slather it over pancakes or waffles or French toast. Use it to roll up in a crepe. There's just, there's a lot of ways. I have even used jellies, jams, and fruit butters to top a little dish of ice cream. It only takes a little bit to add a lot of flavor to a dish, to a slice of toast, to a pancake. You don't have to use very much, so it's nice to get that little bit of a sweet treat, a fruity sweet treat, without going overboard on the sweet. And like I've already said, butters are particularly perfect for that because they don't have the same sugar content that jellies and jams have. All right, you guys, so this has been simmering for maybe a half hour. It can take anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. It's getting a very gel-like texture. The chunks of plum have broken down. There was a full pan of them. There's not nearly that much now. I'm not gonna lie, I did scorch it a little bit. I sat down to do some editing and didn't think that it was going to be as far along as it was, and it scorched a little because you have to keep an eye on it. You have to, as it gets thicker, you're going to have to turn your heat down, right? It'll get thicker, it'll hold the heat more, it'll start to bubble more, and you can scorch it. Now, I am not going to worry about scorching this because it's so little that when I blend it, you're never going to notice. And that leads me to an unplanned piece of kitchen practice advice for you if you're interested. Don't get too caught up in perfection. Sometimes things happen. As long as it's not something that isn't edible, then just go ahead and enjoy it anyway, and next time try not to make the same mistake. But I've been in the kitchen forever and I make mistakes because I'm busy, I have other things to do, or I get distracted, or for whatever reason. It's very easy to do when you're entertaining guests and you're just enjoying yourself. But I'm not going to get all upset about this. I am going to bring you in and I'm going to show you what it looks like now. And then I'm going to take the immersion blender to it and turn it into plum butter. So here we go, you guys. You can see that it's simmering. It's nice and thick. A lot of the plum chunks are gone. You can see a scorched bit right there. I don't know if you can see it on camera. But anyway, this is what we've got. And it is ready to take an immersion blender to it and turn it into plum butter. So this is it, you guys. This is like the consistency of applesauce right now. And it is going to get thicker as it cools. It is loose because it's hot. I can assure you that it tastes absolutely delicious. Be very careful tasting it because this consistency will like stick to your lips and your tongue, and you can really get burnt if you're not very, very careful. It's absolutely delicious, and it is plenty sweet enough. I'm going to get a fresh spoon, and I'm going to show you how to test whether or not it's cooked down enough. All you have to do to test whether or not this is cooked down enough is take a spoonful and drop it on a plate. And when you do that, you should have no seepage. You should have no water seeping out around the edges of your butter, as is the case with this. And that means you are done and you are ready to let this cool off and put it in a jar. So I don't have time today to stick around and let this cool off, but I wanted to put it in jars to show you what it made. Those 6 large plums gave us about 1.5 jars, which means that if we would have done the full dozen, we would have 3 full jars. And I will probably do the rest, like I said, so that I can share them. I'm going to let this cool off so that I can enjoy it in the morning. I hope that you're going to make yourself some plum butter. It's a great fall treat. I hope that you are going to enjoy every single bite. And as always, thank you so very much for being here with me today. You and I will get together again, and we will do it really soon.